All right. Greetings and salutations. Oh, I hope everybody's doing well tonight. As usual, we'll give everybody a few minutes to show up. We are here tonight on episode 60. I can't believe it's already been 60 weeks plus, because there's some we missed. So that's crazy. That's over a year we've been doing this now. So it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. All right. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to show up before we get into the good stuff. As always, I am your host, CAVBoss. If you have any questions about CAV or just want me to go off on something, feel free to ask. I will do my best. And we will talk all things CAV tonight and whatever else may just cross my mind. Bueller. Right. Might be an early night. I'll talk about, I got the our first building almost done. I've been working on it here and there a little bit, but I got a good chunk of it done today. So I should be able to finish it in the morning and finally have pictures. So the building listed up on the website. All right, a couple more minutes before I go into the spiel. So while we're waiting, I have hopefully everybody had a chance to play CAV here last week. I'm 90% sure that starting next week, I will have the game board set back up and we will be able to broadcast the board all set up. Go play a little CAV. Everybody input. What should this guy do? Think I've about got everything moved around where it'll plenty of room. I've been working on a kind of a camera stand. Elmred, hello, how are you doing? Everybody's kind of crawling in here, so we was waiting a few minutes and I was just randomly musing. But we got 2 or 3 things to go over tonight, a couple of new things, one sad thing, one almost done. Let's put this over. Oh, wait. Way everybody can hear me better, just in case. All right, we're almost to the witching hour, or at least the witching minute. Hopefully everybody can, can you hear me? Hopefully I'm coming in okay. Just not randomly. Quiet night, I guess. We have storms here tonight, so Yeah, well, it comes and goes in little batches, and hopefully with all the new stuff that's getting ready to come out, and um, but that's it. It's buffered a few times, but that's it. Okay, well, and it may be buffering a little bit tonight because of our weather here. So hopefully we will make it through. Not Discord, my bad. New dude on the subreddit. I haven't made it over to the subreddit. I know that Hugh talked about putting one together, and I haven't made it over there. I know that I plan on doing better about getting on Discord. My plans have always been to at least once a week be over there, and it has not happened. I was kind of hoping with the forums that would kind of be an in between, but anyway, we'll work on it. We're trying to get more stuff done. Okay, so let's get started tonight and go over the building. We've been talking about, I've been working on it. I kind of just dove in today, and hopefully you can see I got it finally all painted, and I almost got all the windows in. This is the way I do my windows. It's like a tracing paper, a vellum paper. So it kind of gives it a frosted look. So it looks good if you don't want to have any lights in it, but it looks great if you put a little LED or something in it, or something that little flashing light or something. So that works out really good. So I didn't get all the windows in to get it all finished glued down. They are a pain to put in sometimes, especially on a model like this. But if you just take your time, I will be putting a template up for that so that you can trace it or cut it out and make it a little easier to get it up in there. You have to just be careful and get little drops of glue. A window pane, it is definitely a pain. It can be, especially on a model like this when it's smaller and you've got some this one end with the unusual shapes. But you can see I've got some of them in. So you just have to take your time, but it's well worth it when it's all done. I have not got the helipad and the billboards done, but I should knock those out tomorrow. I did get the base done. And of course, this gets knocked out because of where the helipad comes out of. But that also, when all this is glued together, gives you a spot to run your lights in there. I've got the little flower beds here on the front painted, and a little shrubbery put in there. So then once the building is mounted, like so, I'll also be kind of going down the edge and putting some little bushes along. So real happy with it. Should get this done tomorrow. That'll let me finish photographing it. Then I can get it up on the website and finally have these available. Still trying to come out. I need to come up with a name for the line. I have just banged my head over and over and over trying to figure out, if I want to call it something city or something. So hopefully I'll come up with something in the morning. Get that part put together, or it's kind of follow under. My original terrain line was called Battle Hex back in the day when I did a lot of more things for BattleTech. Since we don't use hexes, that doesn't work so well for this. So I've got to come up with something new. So anyway. All right, next up, before I go into CAV stuff, this last Monday was James' last night to stream. He has decided that it's really not his cup of tea. We have discussed it, and I'd always told him that I never wanted anybody to be doing something if their heart wasn't in it, and if they didn't really feel like doing it. So we will take a little breather for on Monday nights. I'm going to kind of cast around and talk to some people to see if there's some other ideas that somebody would like to come up with a show for Monday night. I'll continue to do Wednesday nights. Hopefully, maybe once all James or somebody will drop in. As I talked earlier, before everybody was kind of showing up, I do 90% plan to have the game board set up for next week. I have been working on it and getting things moved around and setting up different kind of camera rigs, so it's easier to move the camera around. So hopefully we will have that good to go, and we can start broadcasting with the table set up in front of us. I think that'll help show off some things. So we got that going. Okay. Any questions? Am I still buffering? Can you still hear me? If it's too bad, I'll try to cut the night short. Like I said, we've got storms here, and generally when we have storms, we can, it always sticks with our cable, our internet. The area we live in, I think we talked about this, where all the wiring is still above ground. So squirrels like to chew on it for whatever reason. You'd think they'd put something in it that squirrels wouldn't. But it causes it to have cracks, and then when it rains, the water gets in there. It doesn't seem to affect the TV or phone, but it does screw up internet. They explained to me one time it's because of different signal, why it affects one. Yeah, but as far as James, yes. You know, is he on here? I love James to death. James has been a great supporter of CAV and continues to be, but he sells himself short, and that's unfortunate because he is a much better painter than he thinks he is. He is very fun to talk to, very fun to listen to, and has a lot of good ideas and good things. But the world is what it is, and if you're not comfortable doing it, then you're not comfortable doing it. And I certainly don't want anybody ever to feel like they have to do it. This is not a job for me, and I don't want it to be a job for somebody else. So anyway, moving on. Talking about the new stat that's coming out in the rules update called EXP, which is short for experience level. We have talked and I've discussed the fact that close combat is going away. It's something that doesn't get used very much. It's really not what it needs to be anyway, so we are dropping that out of there. So I've had people ask me, okay, well, we're taking close combat off the data cards. What's going to happen with that empty row? Well, that's where the experience comes up. And this was something that's been discussed for a long time. It was kind of in originally and then taken out. But as we work and get closer to being done with the campaign book, this is something that will transfer over and be good for that and help us with a couple of things that we're doing there. What experience is basically is broke down into 4 levels, technically 5, but 4 is the ones that most people are going to worry about. And they are listed by the level that they are. There is green, regular, veteran, ace, and hero. Hero is the highest one. You'll probably hardly ever see it, but it's out there, just FYI. What those levels do is they give you a generic experience level number for that particular level of troop. And it starts with an 8. So a green is an 8, a regular is a 7, a veteran is a 6, an ace is a 5, and a hero is a 4. And what that line will now go into your data cards, and generally everybody is considered a regular. So that will be the line that we will put in the pre-made cards. So you'll see under row 0 for every model, it will start with a 7 because that's the regular number that goes across there for a regular troop. And just like other numbers, it degrades as you take damage, going from 7 to 12. What that experience level is going to be is your base number on certain things that you have to roll in order to be successful. So in the past, so like going forward, like if you're required to make a piloting skill check, okay, that will use your experience level. So you will roll 2d6. If you roll that number higher, you're successful. If you roll under it or double ones, you have failed. Okay. Then there's other things that's going to be tied in that uses that experience number. So anytime you're required to make an experience roll, it'll just say make an experience roll. EXP is the abbreviation for it. And that's the number you have to roll or better to be successful. And you may have some skill levels that add to that, you know, to make it easier to be successful. But that also will, that particular stat will also replace any time that you make an opposing roll. In the past, you rolled, he rolled, you added all your deals, whoever was the higher wins. Well, opposing rolls, if those have come up on something, like if you're trying to jam somebody or something like that, both of you will make an experience roll. Yes, things will be tied into that number. The main thing going forward is everything is going to be based on a target number. So anything that you add or subtract will change that target number up and down. So if you get, and it's kind of a weird way because of the way a lot of games do it, but a negative will actually be a benefit. So because you're decreasing your target point. So if something is a -2 to your target point, then you just take 2 off the target point. If it's a +2, then it adds 2 to your target point. That way we're all talking the same number every time. So situation modifiers are going to reverse because a lot of times those were given in the original book as bonuses to your dice roll. But because of the way different things work, sometimes we had a target point modifier, sometimes we had, you know, so going forward, we're going to adjust your target point up and down, and then you'll just roll against that. So I think it'll make it a little easier for everybody to understand, and we're all working from the same deal. Then, and then if you, like I said, if you're doing a custom game or whatever, and you end up having an ace or something like that, you'll be able to change out that roll. Well, I don't know exactly how we're going to set that up yet. When we redo the card program, hopefully it will be a web-based version, and you'll just be able to click what level of pilot is going to be. If he's the default will always be regular, but if you have one that you need to change out, you'll be able to click. And it'll put in the right numbers based on the damage track. Anyway, so opposed rolls going forward, both of you will be making a target point roll against your experience level. The model that has the better margin of success is the winner. In the case of a tie, the model that initiated the reason for the roll wins. So, and that kind of goes along with the way that we do damage. As long as you know, even if you have a 0 and don't have a margin of success of 1, as long as your margin of success equals their armor, you still get to point of damage. So that just kind of goes along with it. Any more questions? And that's right now, that's kind of the holdup. You know, we've talked about some things that we're working on as far as the initiative deck. some other things. We are trying to finish up our last little bit of tweaking with the rules update so that we can put that out. And we don't want to go to print, any final print of anything until we have make sure that that's the way everything's going to work. If there's something that should affect those cards or something, or finish up the rules of engagement or the stuff like that. Yeah, they're just they're the same thing, just like you have now as an upgrade. You'll be able to choose to put in a veteran or an ace. Heroes will not be an upgrade. That's something that we're going to save specifically for scenarios and special events. I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do the green troop. I'm sure there'll be times when people would like to put a green troop in order to save some points. So I don't know how exactly that's going to be phrased yet, because it's not really an upgrade, but it's kind of like the essays that we already have, that you can take a negative to your model to save some. So it'll be the same kind of thing. Now, going forward, recall though, those numbers, a veteran pilot will not necessarily have a better to hit number, because we have separated those out. So you have like a marksman and a sharpshooter. So you can be a veteran and be more skilled in doing things, but you may be a normal as far as shooting your run of the mill. So you can have an ace pilot but not get any modifiers for gunnery, for shooting, because you're not any better shooting than somebody else. But your veteran status will affect other kind of things. Well, and that's right, and that's where those numbers are going to come in better. Is obviously if you have a veteran or an ace recon pilot that's out there trying to jam or get unjammed or something like that against regular troops or whatever, they'll have a much better world. I don't know how everything's being tweaked a little bit around that system. I don't have that right in front of me, so I don't remember exactly where they go. I know that there's, because we don't have the 10 plus roll, there's going to be something that are changing. I think since we kind of have a quiet night tonight, I'm going to call it at 8:30, if that's all right with you, Elmer, unless you have, but we can go over any questions you have right now. Let's go ahead and call it at 8:30. I don't know that I have another 30 minutes worth of going back and forth just between you and me. So I was kind of hoping more people would show up tonight and we'd have a little bit bigger discussion. If I didn't run off and leave all my stuff for cutting windows, I would have finished cutting my windows. I left all that downstairs. Did you decide what you wanted to do about the combined fire for infantry? In what respect? As far as can infantry salvo, is that what we were talking about? Or are we talking about the new SA that'll be close assault for them? Yes. Yeah. No, infantry. Uh, and I don't know if the book specifically says that they don't. I was always of the understanding infantry could salvo any, but if it's not in there, or it's, we need to define it better. But yes, infantry will be able to have their version of a salvo. Well, like I said, infantry, infantry will have a close assault value as an SA. So they'll actually still be able to do a special attack, special ability that falls under close assault, but it'll be different from the way it's currently done, as far as the way it's listed. Well, infantry can't take multiples of their gun, but you go by squad, by models. So if you had a squad of 5 models of infantry, all 5 models in the squad can target one model as a salvo, as a combined fire. And if I specifically, if it says in the book that they can't do it, then we changed something or something got deal. My understanding was originally always that you could do that. Yeah, I'll double check on that, and I'll get you a better ruling on that tomorrow, before I shoot my mouth off and say something that's not right. But you should be able to, like I said, if you have 5 assault rifle points models in your squad, then those 5 models can salvo fire with their assault rifle at a target and get a +4 to the but 1 roll. That's why it's generally we try to do it that way, so that, because you get that one guy every once in a while that wants to build a squad and put one model in there with an assault rifle and one model with a Panzerfaust and one model with a SAM, and have 5 different models in there with 5 different weapons that they're trying to track so they can do multiple things. And that gets old trying to keep track of all that. The preference is always for you to build a squad with the same weapons, or at least, have maybe one model that's got a Panzerfaust or one model SAM. Yeah, it makes infantry. That's how infantry can do more damage. Range. The main problem that you have is, a lot of the weapons that they carry are not really anti-cav weapons. You're not going to take a whole squad of uh, infantry and with assault rifles and be able to take out an emperor. But is always lucky rolls. Obviously, an all squad of Panzerfaust Yes, can get ugly. You're just dealing with the shorter ranges. But and you might remind me tomorrow too, if you don't mean, but I'll try to get on Discord for some tomorrow and kind of go through questions and stuff that's backed up there again. And I'll look at that infantry thing and get you a nice exact answer. But the way I remember, that's the way you can do it. Okay. With that being said, it's 8:30. I'm gonna call it a night. That way you can have the rest of the night to do something productive. An 8-hour meeting at work. Oh, those suck. All right. Well, Elmarin, everybody, thank you. Appreciate everybody coming in that did come in. As always, I appreciate your support. I will be back next Wednesday night. Like I mentioned earlier, James will not be doing a Monday night show anymore. Hopefully we'll have something that we can plug in here in the next couple of weeks and get a Monday night show going again. So if there's something in particular you'd like us to see, try to work on or something. Other than that, CAV on. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night.